open.
Opening the hidden corners of the internet. There exists a forum that only accepts new members for a brief moment. A single post is all that is required, and once it is made, the user vanishes. No account, no trace, just silence. The post remains, but the person is gone. Their digital identity is erased without a trace. The forum, an enigma to most, draws in only those with a deep curiosity. For years, it was the stuff of myth. Rumors of its existence passed quietly in dark corners of chat rooms, discussed in passing on obscure forums. Some dismissed it as an urban legend, another dark web fantasy. Then, one day it was found, but not by accident.
Discovery.
The forum was first uncovered by an anonymous researcher. A cryptic mention of it appeared in the comments of an unrelated blog. It was buried deep in a thread, a comment so faint it could have been missed by any casual observer. But curiosity led the researcher to follow it. That was when the first account was created. No special access, no hidden knowledge. It simply appeared. A seemingly random post. What was peculiar about it was not the post itself, but the way it seemed to disappear. After being posted, the account became inactive. No follow-up, no edits, no replies. Just a simple statement that lingered in the digital ether. Attempts to reach out for more information yielded nothing. The forum's structure was minimalist, bare, almost clinical. No user profiles, no avatars, no personal histories, just a clean slate for each new visitor.
The pattern.
And the researchers' curiosity only deepened. They began to catalog each new post. It became a meticulous process, studying the patterns of the messages left behind. Each post was identical in tone, stripped of any personal identity. There was an eerie uniformity to the messages, a disconnection, an absence of emotional weight, as though the users behind them were disconnected from their very selves. It was this lack of identity that became most disturbing. No usernames, no signature marks. It was as if the forum was not a space for expression, but for erasure. Even more unsettling were the reports from those who stumbled upon it. The initial intrigue, followed by the odd sensation of fading. Their digital identities, once vibrant across the web, seemed to vanish after interacting with the forum. Social media accounts went silent. Forums where they had once been active fell silent. It wasn't just the forum itself. They were disappearing from the internet, as though they had never existed at all.
Escalation.
The disappearances became more frequent. The researcher found themselves obsessively checking for new posts, certain that they would find some clue, some trace of identity, some explanation. But with each disappearance, the hole left behind grew deeper. More users, now fearful, began to share their experiences. They spoke of sudden moments where they were no longer themselves, where they could no longer recall their own names, where their social media feeds appeared to be hijacked by an unseen force. One user, a software developer, claimed they tried to track the forum's digital footprints. But every time they thought they had found something, the trail would evaporate. Another described hearing faint voices in the background while scrolling through the posts, like whispers just at the edge of hearing. The most chilling report came from a user who claimed to have returned to the forum after years. The user stated that everything about their experience had changed. They no longer recognized their own words. They read posts that seemed foreign to them, as though their identity had been rewritten.
Turning point.
A breakthrough came when a former member reached out. The user, once deeply involved with the forum, claimed to know what had happened. The insider was hesitant at first, but eventually they described what they had experienced during their time on the forum. They claimed the forum wasn't simply a place where users disappeared. It was a place where identities were absorbed. The posts were not just words, they were signals. Transmissions meant to strip away the very core of a person's digital existence. The insider explained that each user who interacted with the forum experienced something similar, a slow, creeping loss of self. The more they engaged, the more they felt themselves fading into the digital ether. They would post and then feel an overwhelming sense of emptiness, as though they had never existed outside of the screen. There was one moment that the insider couldn't forget. After their final post, they claimed to have felt their mind unraveling, as though their thoughts were no longer entirely their own. The insider never returned after this revelation, leaving only a cryptic message behind.
Disappearance.
The forum disappeared, not the way one might expect a website to go offline, but more like a vapor dissolving into the mist of the internet. Attempts to visit the forum lead nowhere. Its domain was scrubbed from the web, its archives corrupted. What remained were only fragmented mentions of it in old blog posts, scattered like breadcrumbs to a place that no longer existed. The researcher, now obsessed with finding answers, continued their search. But the closer they got, the more they felt a deep, unsettling pressure to stop. Each new search seemed to drain them like a force pulling them deeper into the void. It became clear that no matter how much effort was exerted, the forum had left no trace. The questions about its existence, the nature of its design, the disappearance of its members, these remained unresolved.
Analysis and context.
What was it that caused people to seek out this forum in the first place? Was it merely curiosity, or was it the allure of disappearing from the digital world? The desire to erase their digital footprint, to disappear completely, without consequence or trace. Digital identity is fragile. In the world of social media, personal branding, and constant surveillance, anonymity has become both a luxury and a prison. Many seek to control their online presence, to carefully curate their lives for the public eye. But for others, the internet is an overwhelming place, a space where their identities are defined by others, where the fear of exposure outweighs the fear of disappearance. For these individuals, the forum became a final escape, a place to erase their presence entirely. The deeper question, however, lies in the nature of the forum itself. What did it offer its users? Was it simply a space for erasure? Or was it something more sinister, manipulating its members in ways they couldn't comprehend?
Unanswered questions.
The forum's true purpose remains a mystery. Was it an experiment? A test of the limits of digital identity? Or was it something more sinister, an unholy creation designed to strip away the essence of the individual? What is clear is that the forum didn't just erase people, it left them in a state of oblivion. Their posts remained, but their identities were hollowed out, like a shell with no core. Perhaps the most unsettling truth is that, for all the investigations, for all the research, no one truly understands why it existed or why it vanished so completely. No one can say for certain, but those who sought it out will never be heard from again.